All righty. Welcome back to another episode of Friday Night Lines. We are looking at college football week 6, NFL week 5. Last week in college, I went 3-2. I'm at 10-10 overall. The thing about college last week is I had one of the most euphoric days. And if you're a gambler, you've had these days. I know I gave you guys 3-2. I need to tweet more, but I get so in the moment when I'm betting, and I bet throughout the day, like consistently. I went 15-3, and my buddy and I, who we combined, kind of like put together our picks, went combined like 20-4 overall on Saturday, and it was great. The problem is on Sunday, I got a little bit too big for my britches. NFL, we went 1-4, terrible 7-8 overall on the NFL, and I just kept going down that rabbit hole. Betting more money, thinking I'm going to win now. I was hot yesterday. It did not translate. Said Sunday night, it got even worse. So all that great money I made on Saturday, where I was ready to retire and put my kids through college, gone on Sunday. Gone on Sunday. It was a disaster. It was frustrating. It sucked. I'm not drinking tonight. I'm drinking water. So it's a little shitty today, but I will be back tomorrow drinking all day. I'm going to a buddies of mine. We're going to be gambling. We're going to be drinking. We're going to be playing NCAA 14. Might go live at some point. Who knows? Got to stay hydrated and ready to go for that tomorrow. Yeah. So let's get into the college plays. I've got a record. Hold on. I got to tweet out the link real quick. I tweet out the video. For you guys to come join in the chat. Hashtag gambling. Twitter. There it is. There we go. So, we're going to jump into college. I have a record 8 plays. 8 plays. I usually go 5-5, but I was like, fuck it. I like so many games tomorrow. The slate's fun. Let's have some fun. Let me give you all my picks. Let me give you all of my picks. So, I'm going to give them all to you. So, we're going to move through them pretty quick. It's late. It's after dark. I'm not tired, but let's just run through them. You guys are here to watch me give winners. I'm here to give you fucking winners. We're going to win tomorrow. That's what you're here for. I know I have a really pretty face, a really nice body. You like to look at that. But when it comes down to it, all you want is the winners. Saturday college football tomorrow. That's coming up real quick. We got Texas plus 3.5 versus Oklahoma. Ever since Texas made that quarterback change with Casey Thompson from, what's his name? I can't remember. I'm blanking on the guy's last name that was starting previously, Carr or something like that. Their offense has gotten better. Texas looks good. Bijan Robinson could be a potential Heisman candidate that you might want to go in and bet a future on right now. I think he's somewhere around plus 5,000 if I remember correctly. And Oklahoma, every game's tight, and they sure lost to Nebraska. Every game's close for them. It's too late. My head is all messed up. I'm blanking on this stupid Spencer Rattler. You know, he played a better game last game, but he's been crappy up to this point. Oklahoma's just been playing too close. It feels like this is the game that they're going to lose. Texas is going to be like, we're back, even after losing to Arkansas. But this feels like the game. This is the game that Oklahoma loses, and Texas is going to come in. They get them in Texas at the Cotton Bowl, which I heard is just a dump. This is the time for Texas to finally take Oklahoma. Watch out for Texas. I don't want to get ahead of myself. I kind of feel like I'm jinxing them, thinking that they're kind of back right now. Sarkisian's got the offense rolling. We'll see. Game number 2. It's going to be a lot of SEC coming up here. I just watch more SEC, and I'm more comfortable with these games. And I know who's a fraud and who's not, or at least I feel like I know who's a fraud and who's not. So we'll see. Ole Miss minus 5.5 versus Arkansas. Ole Miss got beat pretty good by Bama. I think, they scored 21 points. They did get going. It was just too late. They went for it a lot on 4th and 1, 4th and 2 in their own territory and just didn't get it when they should have been punting, and that got them in a lot of trouble. And you don't give a good Alabama team that field position. That's just stupid. Lane Kiffin outthought himself, but Matt Corral, Ole Miss, that offense still can put up numbers. They're still a good football team. I still think they're one of the top 4 best teams in the SEC. I mean, I really believe it's obviously Alabama, Georgia. I think Georgia's the best team in the SEC. Alabama right behind them. And then you can throw an Ole Miss right in there, right after them. Florida's not as good as what they have been. I like Ole Miss. Arkansas, clearly a fraudulent team. Um, Georgia suffocates everybody, but I haven't thought Arkansas was really that great this whole time. They're good, but they're not great. I think Ole Miss is actually significantly better than Arkansas. Ole Miss is angry. Lane Kiffin's going to come out, call the best game of his life. They're going to blow this team out. -5.5 is not even close to him. To enough. I will lay this 5.5 happily. This is going to be a 20-point football game, period. Next, Georgia, -15 at Auburn. Auburn's a fraud too. Auburn is crap. Bo Nix finally had a decent game, and we're acting like Auburn's a 15-point, like within 15 points of Georgia. Georgia has more touchdowns on defense than they've given up on defense. They don't allow you to breathe. They just don't. And one of the touchdowns they gave up this year was in garbage time. So it's just, this defense suffocates you. They kill you. Bo Nix is bad. He's really bad at football. He's going to have like 5 interceptions. He panics in a game like this. 15 points is an insult. Should be 20 plus. They crush Auburn. Easy. I love it. Game number 3, Kentucky. I gave you guys Kentucky. I told you to bet the money line against Florida last week. Huge win for Kentucky, -2.5 versus LSU. I cashed both of those. Great. Just a great win. So much fun to watch. They're so disciplined, play good defense. They run the ball well. LSU is quitting. They're just quitting on their team. Derek Stingley's got foot surgery. It sounds like guys are just dropping out all over the place. At Orgeron, it sounds like the boosters are already making plans to get him out of there and get somebody else in. LSU's, they're done. They already weren't that good, but now there's just, I think, at Orgeron got lucky when he had Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. I mean, look at those wide receivers. Let's say those names right now, and then look at them in the NFL. Terrace Marshall, it's ridiculous what he had at that team. He just fell into the luckiest, best offense that he's ever inherited, and now you can see what happens when he has to coach these guys. It's not pretty. Kentucky's significantly better than LSU. LSU, I really do feel like they're just not playing for anybody. They don't care. Kentucky -2.5. Game number 4, Nebraska +2.5 versus Michigan. Nebraska is a top 25 team that isn't a top 25 team that lost in week 0, which I don't even count because it's week 0. So that loss shouldn't even be on their record, and played very tight against Oklahoma and essentially beat Michigan State, but had stupid special teams play. They really should have 1, maybe 2 losses. I really think just 1 loss they should have 1 loss to Oklahoma. Oklahoma beat them, but it was a tight game. Michigan State was a win. Illinois was a win. This is a good football team. You can't throw them out. Scott Frost it feels like he's turning around. They've made less penalties, less turnovers. Michigan, we don't know yet. Wisconsin's bad. We've discovered that. I'm excited to play Wisconsin as a Nebraska fan because we've only beat them 1 in the, I think, 9 years we've been in the Big Ten. So I am excited to play Wisconsin somewhere at the end of November. I'm looking to get another win in Wisconsin by then. Nebraska's going to beat Michigan. I'm telling you right now, buddy line that game. Take the +2.5. Take the +2.5 and sprinkle that money line. Nebraska, Adrian Martinez, Scott Frost, Toure at wide receiver. This defense is, they have a top, I say as a Nebraska fan, it's a top 15 to 20 defense, top 10 defense in college football. Like, they're a really good defense. Their defensive line gets after it. The secondary is experienced. Watch out, Big Ten. I'm really excited for them to play Iowa. I'm sure they won't beat them, but I think it's going to be tight. They will beat Michigan here. Michigan's been asking to lose. Iowa, -1.5 versus Penn State. I like Penn State. Their defense is really good. This could be a bore. I should have bet the under on this game. I don't know what it is, but Penn State got outplayed by Wisconsin, where Wisconsin turned it over a bunch. They play everything close. Iowa in Kinnick Stadium. I just feel like Iowa's real and Penn State isn't, and you're going to see the difference in this game, and Iowa beats them by around 10 to 14 points and never really is nervous. The offense for Penn State, it doesn't do it for me. I can't remember the quarterback's name right now off the top of my head late night after dark. Like I said, not great. Jahan Dotson can't do it all by himself, and I'm sure they'll just take him out of the game because that's what Iowa's defense does. So I think Iowa, I love Iowa, -1.5. I think they go in and they kind of just never are worried. It's going to be slow. It's going to be boring. You're going to probably fall asleep during it, but Iowa, that's how they win. And they're going to keep themselves heavily in the college football playoff conversation. And poor Cincinnati, it doesn't matter what they do. I think 1 loss, Ohio State, 1 loss, Oklahoma, both would beat them out. It's unfortunate. They just beat the shit out of a bad Temple team. It sucks. I wish they, Notre Dame doesn't look as good as what they. Hopefully Notre Dame keeps winning to help build that schedule up. I don't know how to get on this rant. I just love Cincinnati. I love betting on them. They covered tonight. I was on the wrong side of that, thinking they'd have a letdown. Jeez, Arizona State already scored. Thinking they'd have a letdown. 30 points. All I needed Temple was to do is stay within 30 points, and they were down. They lost by 50. So stupid. It was ridiculous. Louisville, -2.5 versus Virginia. Virginia just barely beat a bad Miami team by 2 points and got run out of the building by Wake Forest a couple weeks back. Louisville just lost to Wake Forest. It was a 3-point game. But ever since that week 1 loss to Ole Miss, where everybody's like, oh, Louisville stinks. Why would you ever bet on Louisville? They've been good. I think they've almost covered every game since. And I jumped back on Louisville. They're better than Virginia. Louisville, Mikhail Cunningham, they are playing well. They're rolling. I love Louisville -2.5 versus Virginia in this game. Just off of Reese's. And plus it's in Louisville. So it's 2.5 points at home. They win this game. I just hope they win by 3 or more. And last but not least, I'm giving you an over. SMU Navy, over 55.5. Obviously, SMU can score. Navy wants to play slow. But SMU's defense gives up points. They'll give up points as well. Hard to stop that option. I think Navy will not get 2 to 3 yards. They can have 10 to 12 yard plays at a time, lower possessions because of it's really hard to stop that option. And SMU can just put up yards quick. They just score a ton. 55.5 does not seem like enough points in this game. SMU can get to 40 on their own in this game, and Navy will be able to score with that option. Those are my picks for the college football Saturday slate tomorrow. Go ahead right now, jump on your bookie's website. If it's legal gambling, go ahead and jump on whatever you gamble through. Put those bets in. Let's cash winners together. Let's tweet at me. We'll celebrate our winners together. It'll be great. I can't wait for tomorrow's one of my favorites. When I get together, we drink beer, we drink whiskey, we watch college football, and we just gamble our asses off. I love these weekends. Just a dude's weekend, gambling, drinking, loving life, waking up with a hangover, and hopefully wins. Hopefully a happy hangover. Let's get into NFL. We'll make these ones quick. NFL Week 5, I believe it is. I'm starting off with the Panthers, -3.5 at the Eagles. The Panthers defense, they're bringing in cornerbacks. They just got in Stephon Gilmore from the Patriots, and they also brought in, I'm blanking on his name, who they brought in from the Jacksonville, CJ Henderson. They brought in Jacksonville. So not only were they already good, now they added 2 strong cornerbacks to that team. And Jalen Hurts struggles. Like, he's just not a very good cornerback. This defense is going to shut down Jalen Hurts in this Eagles offense. Carolina can score. Sam Darnold's look good. Christian McCaffrey's not back yet. I don't care. DJ Moore has been a monster. Feels like maybe Robbie Anderson's about to bust out because they'll focus on DJ Moore a little bit. Panthers should cover this pretty easily. I don't think it's very tight. I don't think the Eagles are a good team. Jumping to the Eagles-Panthers, I'm also playing the under in this game. Both defenses are solid. Panthers are better. Both defenses are solid. It's going to be a slow, methodical game. I could see it being 20-10, 20-13. That's what I'm expecting. That covers the spread. That keeps you under the 45. Love the under in this game. I'm not usually an over-under better because I typically suck, but I feel really good about the under in this one. I think you guys should play that. My favorite bet of the weekend is Chargers money line -125. The reason you take the money line here instead of -1.5, the juice is basically the same, -110 versus -125. Don't play with that 1.5 points. Just take the win versus Cleveland. Baker's just average. He's an average quarterback. He's never going to win a Super Bowl with this team. He's not good enough to take them to a Super Bowl. He's not a game winner. He's a game manager. Their defense is solid, but overall, Chargers' offensive line is really good. Justin Herbert's good, and then he obviously has Keenan Allen. He has Austin Eckler, and he has freaking Mike Williams, who's been a monster all year. That's too much for Cleveland to handle. And when they get behind, I compared this to a Wisconsin team of like 2 years ago and past, where they're really comfortable playing ahead, running the ball, and playing good defense. Cleveland is like that. But if they get behind, the wheels fall off. And I imagine the wheels falling off once the Chargers take a lead on them and they struggle to score. They're just not – Baker's not the guy that's going to bring you back in a game. They just don't have that offensive firepower. The Chargers are a better football team. It's at Los Angeles, I believe, according to what I wrote down. Take that money line. be happy, be comfortable. I don't think Cleveland has much of a chance in this game. San Francisco plus 5.5 at Arizona. I know people are going to call me a hater. I don't think Arizona is as good as what they have looked up to this point. I just don't. I don't think they're very good. And I think they're going to go on a streak of 3 to 4 games. Kyler Murray's going to run around. He's going to do stupid stuff. He's going to throw an interception. Kingsbury has called a pretty good game last week. He ran the ball really well against the Rams. They ran it more than throw it. They eliminated those Kyler Murray mistakes that he does in games like those. Kind of a little bit didn't allow him to do that. He kind of tamed his quarterback down, who's apt to making mistakes in big games. But San Francisco's defense can stop that run without bringing extra guys, which is going to cause them to have to throw the ball with deep safeties, and it's going to be more difficult. It's going to be more difficult. It looks like Stanford score, so we're 7-7. Let's go. It's going to be difficult for that Arizona team to move up and down the field. This Trey Lance is playing. I understand that. I'm excited. I might sprinkle a little bit on the money line, but just to be safe, take that 5.5. My theory is if you don't think the dog can win, don't bet it. I think San Francisco can win. We got 5.5 points. Trey Lance, he's going to be running the ball. They don't have a lot of tape on him. He's only played like 3 or 4 plays a game. Somebody died in the Stanford game. San Francisco wins this game. I think Arizona goes on a little losing streak over the next few weeks here. And lastly, but not least, I don't have to say much here. I'm not going to give you analysis. Packers -3 at the Bengals. I mean, that's what I do every week. I consistently win. If you bet the Packers every week for the last now 3 years, this going to be the 3rd year, you're up a lot of money. If that was all you bet and you bet $100 or $1,000 every time on the Packers, you'd win a ton of money. You can't say that about the Chiefs. They were terrible against the spread that last year. If you bet on the Packers for the last 3 years, you've won a lot of money. If they don't cover, they don't cover, but more than likely they're going to cover because they cover a ton. Bet the Packers, set it and forget it. Move on. Those are my picks. I didn't put Wake Forest on the college. I'll always bet Wake Forest. I chose to let them off the list, but they're going to be an automatic bet. So go also bet Wake Forest and whoever's matchup or whatever matchup they have. I can't remember what it is, but I bet Wake Forest every week. They didn't cover last week. I don't care. They're an automatic bet. They're one of my ride or die teams. So that's it. Drinking water. Going to get some good sleep tonight. You can find me at LoadedBoxDJ on Twitter if you have questions. If you want to talk gambling, you can go to LoadedBox at LoadedBox on Twitter. You can ask me and Ben questions. Gambling, fantasy football as well. Whatever. We're open for everything. Check us out. Thursday nights or Wednesday nights we podcast. We give our NFL picks. I come on here, give you all the picks on Friday night lines. Let's win. Let's win some bets. I will post on Twitter. I will post on Twitter my bets tomorrow. That's my promise. I suck at it. I get caught up in the world of betting. I'm going to post on Twitter for you guys. I'm going to give you guys winners. If I bet live, I'll post it immediately. Or if I bet throughout the day, and I add games to this card, I will let you guys know. Let's get some winners. See you next week. Cheers.